When you walk through the verse, the first thing you'll probably notice is how everyone looks exactly the same. Rows of players clomping around in bulky, heavy armor like they're cosplaying at a Tumbrel Land Systems convention. It breaks immersion. Not everyone in the verse should look like they're about to lay siege to Orison, and if you've been around here a while, you know that's not how I roll. In this video, I want to break down my everyday carry in Star Citizen, how I dress my character, the tools I haul around, and why immersion matters so much in a game like this. Star Citizen is built as a living universe, and if all we ever do is stomp around in bunker gear 24/7, we're ignoring what makes it feel alive. If you're new here, I'm Captain Katarn. I make Star Citizen content without leaning into the tired outrage bait that drives the YouTube algorithm. Hit subscribe and join the crew. You'll fit right in. Star Citizen is the most immersive game I've ever played. And it's not just because the screenshots look incredible. From the start, CIG understood immersion wasn't only about shiny visuals. Back in 2012, CryEngine was cutting edge, but what mattered more was building a world that felt lived in. I remember when they began shaping the identity of each ship manufacturer. Origin with its sleek, high-class luxury, Drake Interplanetary is the spacefaring version of a beat-up Ford pickup, and Misk leaning industrial and practical like Caterpillar. Each ship tells a story before you even climb aboard, and that's what makes the verse feel alive. That sense of immersion goes way beyond ships. I'll never get to live in a universe where space travel is just part of daily life, but Star Citizen gets me closer than anything else ever has. I've had moments in the PTU where I couldn't tell if the person walking toward me was an NPC or a player right up until they spoke to me in-game. Yeah, believe it or not, when the moon is just right and the servers are working, the NPCs will talk to you. AI in Star Citizen is a running joke. They'll often T-pose and stand on chairs, but when it all comes together, the illusion holds, and you get these flashes where the verse feels like a real place and can transcend being a game. That leads right into my everyday carry, the gear I bring when I head out into the verse. A sidearm, a few mags of ammo, and a multi-tool. Enough to survive, but not so much I look like I'm staging a siege on Crusader security. It's practical, it's immersive, and it forces me to think about risk and preparation instead of leaning on heavy armor to brute force my way through. And with StarCloth and the class system on the horizon, these choices are only going to matter more. The future of immersion is tailoring your loadout to how you want to live in the verse. For me, it always starts with how I dress. I'm not a hardcore role player, but I want my character to look like he belongs in the universe. Civilian clothes, jackets, and gear that feel like something a smuggler, trader, or freelancer would actually throw on. My style leans toward the space rogue, somewhere between Han Solo and Malcolm Reynolds. Scrappy, functional, but with just enough personality to stand out. I want my look to say I'm here to make deals, slip past trouble, and maybe stir up a little of it along the way. Let's start with the jacket, the Misfit Crossdraw. This one's special to me because it was the first clothing piece I looted after Pyro dropped. I snagged it off an NPC in the Checkmate contested zone after going in solo late at night. I usually got camped in the first room after the airlock opened, so it felt like a real win. I wish there was a version without the lights or the guns on the back, but even with that, it's one of the most unique pieces of clothing in the verse. It reminds me of Star Wars with the sleeve details you'd see on Luke or Cassian's jackets. And unlike some other cool looking pieces, this one actually fits the character model right instead of looking 2 sizes too small. I really hope we see more designs like this. I'm really hoping CIG revisits clothing once StarCloth is in, because that system has the potential to change everything. I want full customization, colors, accessories, the ability to tweak pieces so they actually feel like my own. Maybe the future crafting system will tie into that, letting us design gear that isn't just looted or bought, but personalized. On the SWG emulators, I usually had a tailor alt just to make the exact look I wanted, so I'm looking forward to doing that here. The pants themselves aren't anything groundbreaking, but they fit the look with the jacket. They're threshold pants, looted off 9 tails back in the old school bunker missions. Specifically, I like the mix of jeans with the subtle shin armor. It's just enough detail to make them pop. I paired them with the good boots, also dropped by 9 Tails thugs. And yes, that's really the name. Good Boots. Made by an in-game company called Vaporware. It's a hilarious nod, and proof CIG has a sense of humor. For the 9 years I've been following this game, people have lined up to say it's impossible or will never launch. I wear these boots as a figurative stomp on the haters who show up in my comments just because I have the audacity to make videos about a game I enjoy. And besides, they match the pants perfectly. The shirt is trickier because most shirts in the verse are just plain tees. That makes sense, it's an easy model that fits close to the body and avoids most of the clipping issues StarCloth is designed to fix. Slap a new texture on it, and you have a new t-shirt in game. There's a couple decent options, but the one I go with is the Atarvi shirt Pathfinder. I'm pretty sure it was a subscriber reward from years ago. It's got a solid look, and the dual-tone shoulders give it just enough style to stand out without breaking immersion if you wear it without a jacket. I've always tied visors to sci-fi, and Cyberpunk nailed that look years ago. I used to wear clear plexiglass visors back when I first started my channel and live streamed with a face cam for the sci-fi vibes. Sadly, the world is too polarized for me to do that now. Anyway, Star Citizen doesn't have proper visors yet, so for now I run with the Avalos Scout Goggles, which were a subscriber flare item. They get the job done and add a bit of personality to the outfit. When I decide to wear gloves, I use the Derry Tactical Gloves. You can find those in Pyro, and they round out the look without feeling overbuilt. All I need now are a set of gold dice for the cockpit of my ship. Now let's get into the practical gear, the part most of you probably care about. If you know me, you know I've got a soft spot for laser weapons in a space game. If it was up to me, we'd only have laser-based weapons. Sadly, the options are pretty slim right now. The Arclight pistol looks good but feels flat, and the Volt pistol is everywhere to the point of being boring and pedestrian. That's why my sidearm of choice at the moment is the Coda pistol. The one I carry is a special variant from the contested zones with a polished finish, and it just feels right. The Coda is clearly modeled after an old-school 6-shooter, but instead of cowboy rounds, it fires 50 caliber cartridges with ridiculous stopping power. It's limited by recoil and a small mag size, but when you pull the trigger, it hits like a truck. I pair it with a suppressor and a flashlight attachment. That gives a tactical bulk to it, and I think it looks awesome on the side of your hip. The other key piece of gear I carry is the multi-tool. I keep it set to tractor beam by default, since that's the most useful attachment on the fly, whether it's grabbing loot, moving cargo, or moving Jorgi's body after he dies. I keep a medical attachment tucked in my jacket and swap it in when needed. The ability to hot swap with the J key works so much smoother these days, and while it might seem like a small thing, it's one of those quiet quality of life changes that really shifts how you play. Now in my jacket and pants storage, I carry 5 extra Coda mags along with a medical attachment. That's 36 rounds of 50 caliber righteous goodness packed into a setup without even wearing a backpack, which feels pretty damn solid. What I'd really like to see are proper gun belts, holsters, and backpacks designed to work with civilian clothing, something that blends utility with style. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get a reveal like that at CitizenCon. I'd love to see soft armor in the future, something closer to modern Kevlar where you can still take a hit without looking like you're suited up for war. Being able to ditch heavy armor and run combat in clothes would add a whole new layer of choice, maybe as a crafted slot for clothing like Star Wars Galaxies. And if you're looking for a real challenge, try running an ASD facility with nothing but a setup like mine and whatever weapons you loot along the way. I'll be doing a live stream like that at some point because adding that kind of self-imposed spice to the verse is what keeps it fresh. So what's in your everyday carry in Star Citizen? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear how you kit yourself out in the verse. If you made it this far, you're already part of the crew, so let's make it official. Hit subscribe and join us. And if you want to go further, there's a join button, Patreon, and my referral link to the Impound. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.